What's up, YouTube? Knight's Edge here again. Got another pretty cool little review for you of a really neat knife, man. This one was sent to me by In The Mayhem podcast. You guys check them out. I went on there on episode 36. That's the one that I was on. And they sent me this shortly after I met them. And well, not met them, but started talking to them. Kind of a rocky relationship in the beginning. They're kind of criticizing a little bit, critical of my State of the Collection video at the end of last year, but I got to talking to the guy, and they're actually pretty cool people, and I thought it was really cool that that they sent me this and gifted me this one, right? So I'll definitely take a free Spyderco. I love Spyderco. They are my favorite brand, so I thought that was really cool that they sent this one along. Y'all go check them out. In The Mayhem podcast. Let's go ahead and do what we normally do here. Overall measurement of this guy, so kind of hard to measure this one. The Ayoob was invented by Israeli defense expert Massad Ayoob, and made to well, it's a self-defense knife. That's pretty much it. Self-explanatory, right? So tip of the blade into the handle. You look into the handle. Look, you're looking at almost 8 3/4, maybe 8 5/8. Overall blade length, you are looking at 3 and a little over 3 3/4 overall blade length. Sharpened edge length right at 3.5, maybe a hair under 3.5. Again, with the swoop on the blade, kind of hard to measure that, and the overall general aesthetic of it makes it a little bit more difficult to measure than a standard knife, right? So, thickest part of the spine, you're looking at 116 thousandths. Behind the edge, and that swooping belly part right there, let's see what she gets down to. Around 29.5 thousandths. Handle thickness, you are looking at 374 thousandths. So, pretty decently thin handle, especially for such a large knife. Alright, let's go ahead. We'll do some size comparisons. We'll keep it all Spyderco this time, right? We're comparing it to other Spideys. It's a Spyderco. So that is your paramilitary 2. That's your para 3, right? So definitely what I would call a full-size Spyderco knife. 2 more Spydercos. Let's get out the Native 5. That's the Magna Cut Native 5 Salt with some fancy scales. And here is your Shaman. Right, it's a Shaman, big beefy Spyderco right there, even longer overall than the Shaman. Put up the Spydercos, a couple of common household objects up next to it. There is a marker, there's some Scotch tape right there. Got to have the Scotch up in there, right? All right, put those up, and of course, no matter who says what on this channel, always, you got to have the DeWalt framing hammer and the 8-inch USA made crescent wrench. Alright, go ahead and get on to weight here. This is a Seki City, Japan Spyderco, by the way. Weight, I don't know, I'm going to guess about 5 ounces. That would be my guess. Damn. 4.9, I was closer than I usually am, so that's cool. Over the ounce and inch ratio, but not incredibly heavy. I did replace the clip. It came with a standard spoonbill kind of Spyderco clip, black with I believe a gold or maybe a yellow Spyderco symbol on it. This is the Lynch Northwest Deep Carry Said Stevie clip. Shout out to Said Stevie there. Carries really nicely with that one, of course. Disappears in the pocket. And believe it or not, this one does not carry too bad in the pocket. Whenever it's kind of in the pants pocket, it kind of minds its own business, right? When you put it down closer to the seam, to the back, kind of goes in there and curls backwards. Doesn't have too much sticking out, really. My opinion, anyway. I don't really carry anything else in my knife pocket, though. Alright, let's get on with the hardware check here. This is a T8, which I believe is what the pivot is, right? Yeah, T8 on the pivot. And I'm wanting to say these are all kind of pinned and bolstered out. I think these are T6s. Maybe not. Oh, wow, that's smaller than a T6. Man, that is smaller than a T6. That's crazy. So probably a T5, something like that. Really tiny body screws anyway. Not really so much meant to be taken apart, I don't think. But, you know, can be. Also, tip down, tip up. Right or left-handed carry. This is a back lock. Which I did tighten up on the pivot a little bit. Let me loosen that back up, actually. That reverse flick doesn't work so well when that pivot's so tight. Still no blade play. Left down. There we go. Alright, so you can kind of shake it shut a little bit. Just got to be careful if you do shake it shut. And absolutely, if you get that pivot tune right, you can reverse flick this one open with no problem right there. I like how they did the kind of hump right here on the back side. You got that jimp in there, so you can kind of do, you know, what it's designed to do, self-defense, right? If you're holding this, somebody's, you know, coming at you, maybe something like that. Not far-fetched that it would work really good. Reverse grip, you know, seems like it would work pretty good. I'm not a mall ninja. I'm not a certified Krav Maga expert. I am not an Israeli knife fighting defense expert either, but Massad Ayoob is, and he designed this one, and I think it works pretty well. It does slice well, really nice grind on there. CPM crew wear on the blade steel, and G10 on the handle scales. Man, this thing really surprised me ergonomically. I got to tell you that. That is one of the getting it actually in hand versus what I saw on videos, knowing about it before. Totally surprised me. It cuts really good, and aside from self-defense or whatever, you can make some pretty good cuts with this one without, you know, being in a serious bind. So really think that's a pretty good knife. Seki City, Japan, made Spyderco. That is the Spyderco Massad Ayoob, and the price on these are going for $210, but they are sold out currently. They may make another run, they may not. This was a sprint run in the crew wear, CPM crew wear, which is an excellent steel, by the way. So yeah, really appreciate you guys watching. Hope you enjoyed the video. Hope you liked the knife. Hit the like button if you like the content. Subscribe right down there if you want more of it. I really appreciate it. Thanks to all my viewers, channel members, and Patreons. I'll see you guys on the next one, and y'all stay sharp.